guys. All right. Well, good morning, guys. Sorry, it's a bit, the image is a bit howdy doody. I just want to say good day to a few people to start with. Starting with Zach from Coca Culture. Good morning, mate. Jeremy and Cheryl from Cruising is Fun Anytime. Good morning, guys. And then we've got the man himself, Mr. Eddie Lugo. How are you all going, guys? We are actually, yeah, no, I have a star thing across my head if I've got my light on. Bloody LEDs for you. We have a Roxy's waiting in the basement. We'll just give you a rundown of what we're doing today. We're doing a chat about Australia. So I still say good morning. Good morning, good evening, good night. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everyone that's on the chat. So basically, I have a little list of things I want to talk about. I'll start by bringing Roxy in. So yeah, we are all live and ready to go. Just wait for a few more people to come in. Just going to put that on the, hang on, start with that one. First of all, please like, share and subscribe. Every like, sub and share is very much appreciated. At this moment in time, I am not monetized on YouTube, so that will allow the YouTube algorithm to do its thing. Hang on, who have we got there? Hey, Jeremy. Yo, yo, yo. I'll just highlight that one. Hope all is well, guys. Eduardo. So, yeah. So today, I got the idea from Michael Ann Sport Mama to do this. We're going to talk Australia. All things Australia. I have some. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Yes, that is correct. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. If we can get to that by the end of, I've forgotten how many I'm up to. Hey, Roxy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right.
So we're going to talk Australia now, very soon once we get some more people in. I've just yep. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in before I start. Hang on, what the?
Sounds good. I'm just all right. Here. I'm making me a white sauce pizza or white.
Eddie, be nice. Do not make me put you in timeout. Yeah. So. So I've got a list of topics I want to talk about. So it'll be just. Where are we? I'm just going to star that comment there because I want that. So that's a star there for. Oh, God bless you, Eddie. I still love you, Eddie. I'll just share my link over again to the group chat. Just give me 2 seconds and I'll be there. I'll be back. I'll just post
it's a nice day in Georgia for the first time in about 3 days. We have not had rain at my house.
Oh, nice.
But it's on the way.
Oh, bugger that. Yeah. We've got rain coming. We've got rain coming later in the week. Where's my wrong section? Banners is what I want. So yeah. So we got some rain coming later in the week. So this is going to be just going to need to find something. So how you're seeing me, guys, is the lighting on my computer. The screen light. I'll just get some rearrangement done here.
Okay. Yeah, but you're kind of dark. Yeah, it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
In your area.
Yeah. Well, it is just. It's not quite sun's starting to come up. I'm on the wrong side of the house. So, okay, guys, we're gonna get into it. Eddie said it rained in his area yesterday. And nothing today. No, Jeremy, it's if I leave the light on because it's an LED, it'll just put a starburst like what's happening here with the window. It'll just starburst me. You won't see my face at all. So, unfortunately, I have to have it that way. Just at the moment, the sun. As I said to Roxy, I'm on the wrong side of the house.
That's all right. Whatever works.
It's all good fun. No, I've still got a little bit of a starburst here, but I'll tell you what. I met some beautiful I met a couple of beautiful golden retrievers yesterday. Ooh, I wanted to take one home with me. I am a sucker for golden retrievers. I've got to find the breeder. Holy hell, Batman! No, I was in a local pet shop and their owners were with them. They'd both just been given a bath. So this particular pet store chain is called Petstock, and they allow pet dogs in their store as long as they're on a leash, which is really, really nice. There was a male and a female. They're actually related. The male was the grandfather of the female, so there was a bit of a relationship there. But the female was actually a little more timid than men, apparently. She did well with me yesterday. Bless her. And so we've got golden retrievers. Yeah, I can hear you. You've just got something on, obviously, which I completely understand.
Yeah, my battery's about to go down on the computer.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So in our area, we've got golden retrievers, Australian cattle dogs, and Australian shepherds. The one breeder has both those breeds. Actually, the cattle dog and Australian shepherd breeder lives just out past me, ironically. Company called Windy Valley Australian Cattle Dogs and Australian Shepherds is their name. And then you've got Degar Golden Retrievers, I believe the name of that breeder is. Their kennel name is. And I would love to go out to Windy Valley and meet up with them at some point, get to know their more so their cattle dogs, because I am a nut for Australian cattle dogs. That's something I'm going to bring up a bit later on. The most famous dog breed in Australia, other than the Kelpie and the Dingo, the most famous working dog breed. Okay, so we're going to start Australia as a whole. If there's any questions, guys, please note them. I will answer them where I can. Australia as a whole. It is an island country broken up into 6 states and 2 territories. It is in the area called Oceania, and we are the latest population of Australia that I looked up yesterday is just bees privates over 27.4 million people. That's including the mainland, Tasmania, and all the outlying Australian Territory islands, like Norfolk Island, Christmas Island, Cocos Islands, etc. Yeah, it is. That's the blanket term for the area, Eddie. Oceania. It's Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Islands. That's all. That's what we call Oceania. So it's more than one country. Now we're going to go on to the icons of Australia. Some of the big things in Australia. We're going to start with some road transport. Some of the road transport combinations called road trains. We have road trains ranging in length from 30 metres or 98.43 feet up to 60 metres or 196.85 feet long. You won't see the big road trains like the 60-metre ones, what we call, hey Scotty, what we call the super quads. We won't see them. You'll see them up in the far northwest of Western Australia. They're used to cut iron ore from mines in the Pilbara to the port of to Port Hedland for export. Now we're going to move on to the national flag carrier airline of Australia, Qantas. Hey, Duana. Duana's a friend from another channel. So Qantas stands for Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services. They started in Longreach in Queensland back in 1920, and just recently, 5 years ago, celebrated their 100th anniversary in the air. You will notice on some flights you'll have an aircraft that has Qantas 100 on it. That is a special liveried aircraft for that 100th anniversary. So Qantas has multiple different divisions. They've got Qantas, QantasLink, and Jetstar. QantasLink is the regional carrier for places like Sydney to Dubbo, Dubbo to Sydney. Yep. Yeah, I'm having a great morning. So yeah, so we fly the regional areas with QantasLink, and then Jetstar is the low-cost carrier, or what we call an LCC. Yep, Qantas, the flag carrier of Australia, and you'll notice every Qantas plane will have an Australian flag on it, and every plane in Australia has a VH registration prefix. That is how you identify that aircraft is from Australia. So for example, I'm going to use Oscar Quebec Alpha, which is the very first A380 to go into service with Qantas. Named the Nancy Burbolton, that is the aircraft hey Scotty J. That was the plane that had the severe uncontained engine failure over Indonesia, and that's the one that took out all the controls. So they had to come in heavy, land overweight, and that's also the one. Yeah, that was I would have panicked on that one. So, and then you've got Jetstar, which is as I've just said, is their low cost carrier. So they've got Jetstar. They did have Jetstar in Asia, but they've since closed it down due to lack of use. They're going to bring all the aircraft back to Australia by the sounds of it. Then you've got National Jet Services and other things. A few other operations that run aircraft for Qantas, such as Alliance, National Jet Services, etc. Qantas has one of the biggest fleets of aircraft in Australia. And I'll give you a bit more information on that later. It's my further down. So, although Qantas is one of the oldest airlines, it's not the oldest per se. That goes to Royal Dutch KLM out of I believe they're in the Netherlands. I could be wrong. By 1 year. Royal Dutch KLM beats Qantas by 1 year. So they started in 1919. Qantas started in 1920. So there's that. So, and they're still part of the One World Alliance as well. So the many big things in Australia, I'm going to just pop up one of them right now to show you, but I will have to flip the camera because I can't really I can't share anything on the phone. I have to be on my computer to share. I'm just going to call up. I'm going to call up a couple because I have photos of a couple of them. Come on, computers. So we have big things in Australia, and I'll just pop up. Come on, open up. Yeah, so you having fun there, Eddie? So yeah, so in Australia we have the Big Golden Guitar, the Big Banana. There's actually one in my area. It's a big beer can. I'm not kidding you. It's actually in a hotel. I'm just waiting for this computer. It's just gone a bit crazy at the moment. Olympus Master is not available. Okay, you're going to be a pain in the backside. Just let me fix my computer up here. I'm gonna just fix this computer up. It's just playing up a little bit at the moment, so my hard drive's not being recognised. Come on. What's going on? What's going on here? The hard drive's reading, but the hard drive's working, but the computer's not. My computer might be just a bit dopey at the moment. Jackie, while I get my computer working, I'll. What's going on? While I get this, there we go. There we go. We might be lucky this time. Just have a quick drink.
Hey, Coker, Scott,
hey, Jackie.
Scotty, and Eddie, and everybody. Hello.
It's 5:20 p.m. there. Oh, that'd be AM for Scott. Is it? What time is it there? AM, Scott, or is it
PM? 5
PM
in the PM.
Yeah, West Coast, Best Coast. Oh my God! So we're going to show you a couple of the biggest things. Where are we? I've just got to find the photo first. So I'm just going to flip this camera around just very, very quickly. Settings, camera.
I like
back camera.
Playlist.
Yep. So one of the many big things.
Yeah.
That's the Big Golden Guitar in Tamworth, New South Wales. And I'll just zoom in on if you want to know more about that. So there's the website if you want to have a look. That's for the building behind it. It's a tourist centre. Then I've got to just pop. Don't want to go there. Wrong. I've just stuffed. I almost botched that up. I was almost going to go out of that folder. I've just got to work out where that is. That's not it.
That's almost a Hard Rock Cafe guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Where is it? Not that folder. It must be the next folder. Another of the big things in Australia. That's the Big Banana at Coffs Harbour. Coffs Harbour used to have a really big banana growing community at the in the early days. So that's pays homage to that as well. And then I'll just look up the other one that I want to look up is I'll have to pop. I've just got to flip my camera back around for a moment. I'm just going to flip my camera back around to the front for the minute while I do that search for the big beer can out at Cobar. Hang on, that's going to be, just going to bring that back around. Hang on, I can't spell today, my hands are frozen. And hang on, that's, I bet that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, so that'll be what I'm guessing I'm looking for. Yep. That's it. That's the one. Okay, so that's what I want. So what I'm about to do now is call that up. Oh. There we go. Expand. Okay. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. I want the image itself. The Grand Hotel at Cobar. Okay, so that's a better one. That's much better. So yep, I've got it now. Hey, Liz and Liz, I'm just about to flip the camera back around so I can show you. I'll just pop that site up while I do this. I've got a website. Finally found it on a website for atlasobscura.com of all places. It's ow. So I'll just wait for that.
I'm eating the best cookie from across the pond.
Oh, hey Laurie. I'm just about to show everyone one of the. This is actually, hang on, I'll just see if I can just pop this up a bit bigger on my screen for you. Open image in new tab. I'm just about to show you one of the other big things in Australia, which is this actually has a world record. If I remember correctly, I did read if it was full of beer, I think it was 2,270 litres. If I remember what I read, I'll just pop back over here to the search. 22,000 litres. That was erected on the Royal Hotel, the Grand Hotel in Cobar, New South Wales.
That's what I'm eating.
Yeah. Oh, yum. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for the other image, this image to come up. So yeah, 22. So yeah, so that's it there. It is, again, it is on the roof of the veranda roof of the Grand Hotel in Cobar, New South Wales. I actually should ask a relative of mine to go and see if he can get a photo of it. So that is in the Guinness World Records, Book of World Records for the largest beer can in the world. If that was to be filled with beer, that would hold 22,000 litres. So that's what? A standard keg's 50 litres, 440 kegs of beer in that. In Australia, a standard keg is 50 litres. So that would hold the equivalent of 440 kegs of beer. Anybody wants? Scotty's kind of coming. Oh, I'll let Scotty in. He's a legend. At the stage, the man, the myth, the legend.
What are y'all doing?
Just showing off some big things in
Showing
Australia.
off some what?
Some of Australia's big things, and that was the big beer can.
Oh, the big beer cans.
That one is actually in my area.
Oh, is everything big in Australia?
That is what we have, over 150 different big things in Australia. Oh, don't want to lose you. I've got to flip your camera back around. Just give me 2 seconds. Camera back to the front cam. Yeah, so Australia is home to 150 big things. Those 3 that I just showed you there, all in New South Wales.
Maybe I need to visit Australia.
Yeah, do it. But there's another big thing that I've seen. Actually, it's called the big prawn, or to you guys, the big shrimp. Liz, that would hold the equivalent of 440 Australian kegs of beer. That one, 22,000 litres. That's when you think the average Australian drinks what, 6 schooners of beer, 425 ml glasses, what we call a schooner of beer in a city on average. So the Outback, while we're on the topic of Cobar, it's the gateway to the Outback. Once you leave where I live and you go west from about a little place called Trangie West, it's straight. You do not have a bend in the, most of the time you do not have a bend in the road. You will not have a bend in the road between Trangie and Nyngan. That's how straight the road is. We have the Nullarbor Plain.
We need a blooming onion. That's what Carnival Cruise has.
Sorry, Liz. I didn't mean to.
That does sound good. We've got this.
It does sound.
We've got this steakhouse here. I don't know. I mean, I know it's not in Australia, but it's here in the south of the United States. It's called Colton Steakhouse.
Ooh.
They have some good onion blossoms. So maybe, Liz, maybe I will just have to get us a blooming onion for both of us. Mm-hmm. And I'll eat it.
Oh, bless ya. No, it's all good. No, we have, speaking of straight roads, we have we have one of the longest straights. It's called the 90-mile straight. It's 149 kilometres of nothing but straight road. No bends, no hills. It's just dead straight for 90 miles. We also have the longest piece of railway on that very same in that very same area at 428 kilometres between. I'm just trying to work out between. Just trying to work out. It's on the Indian Pacific route between Sydney and Perth. So that's another thing I could talk.
You be talking about stuff, and I could be just going on and on and on all day with the stuff that you say. But I'm really trying to be a good boy.
You're trying
to be a good Scotty J.
You're good. Now that's why I added you as a friend on Facebook. By the way. No. Next biggest thing is a beautiful area just in the sort of upper part of just out of Sydney is the Blue Mountains of New South Wales. And I'm here to tell you that the blue tinge you see, if you see the Blue Mountains on TV, the blue tinge is eucalyptus oil. It's caused by eucalyptus oil. Or the gum trees, when they lose their oil, it goes out to the atmosphere and it just turns the whole area blue. Bluer than that Pepsi can. And I mean, and you can smell it for miles. Home to the Three Sisters. It's one of the, and there's a story, but I don't want to go into it. It's First Nations. It's a First Nations story about how the Three Sisters were formed. But I don't know the whole story. I'm not a First Nations person. A local First Nations person in that area. So, and then you've got so many beautiful little places across there. One of them is a little place called Wentworth Falls, and they've got apparently the best pie shop in there, right on the highway. I'm still champing at the bit to get down there to try one, just to validate my sister's. One of my sisters used to live in Lawson, So it was, I'm just trying to remember, Blaxland, Wentworth and Lawson were the three explorers that discovered the Blue Mountains. So they all had areas, or little, I don't call them towns, I call them municipalities across the area named after them. Wentworth Falls was named after Wentworth, Lawson, yep, and Blaxland. They were just basically named after them. And they explored that area in the early days. And they saw something beautiful in the area, so they decided to call it the Blue Mountains. Speaking of mountains, and we currently are having a great snow season here in Australia at the moment, is the Australian Alps. Skiing is a big thing at the moment. And every man and his dog, every weekend, I swear to God, every man and his dog in Sydney wants to go down to Thredbo, Perisher, and all that area in New South Wales, and everybody from Melbourne wants to go north to the Mount Hotham, Mount Buller, and all that area.
What side of Australia are you?
Oh, I'm on the east coast. So you've got
so like Brisbane,
I'm sort of between Brisbane and Melbourne. So where Sean and Alana from the Down Under Cruisers are, and Brisbane, I'm at the strategic halfway point where I live. We'll get into that. We'll get into that when we go into the states and territories after. So the snow, and we do get snow in our area as well, a little bit, not as much as the Alps, but we get enough to close roads at points at night. We get like only that much. When snow season first opened in Australia this year, 65 centimetres of snow had fallen in that first day. I love looking at traffic cameras. There's a traffic camera at the Chain Up Bay where people have got to pull up and put their snow chains on to go into the snowfields of New South Wales. And there was one night, I think it was earlier this week, I'm just trying to think what day it was now, that I ended up, I'll just pop up. I actually have that image loaded up on Facebook. I can give you the date. I think it was either Monday or Tuesday this week that actually I popped onto the cam. I popped up the camera, and it was just, you just couldn't see anything for all the snow that was blowing in onto it. And it's like, holy hell. How the hell is this road not closed with this snow falling? And it's like, and I popped the other camera up in the area, which is looking towards Smiggen's Holes. It's part of Perisher. The car park was just white, pure white. You could not see any of the road underneath, any of the black surface of the road underneath. You could only just make out the lines, because in snow areas they actually paint them yellow to be able for people to see it through the snow, because if they paint them white, it'll just blend in like they normally do with the rest of the road network. So yeah, there's nothing else I want to bring up, so we'll go down to the States.
Thank you.
I totally agree with both you and Liz, Scotty J. She does look really good tonight. Blue with white dots. Roxy's very, very, very quiet. She's actually taking it. I love it when people take in information. So into the States, we have Queensland. It's home to the Great Barrier Reef. Wink, wink. I'll just put a plug in here for the New Year's Eve 26th cruise that Sean and Alana are hosting. Wink, wink. Had to do that. Otherwise, because I'm on it. Roxy's actually, I love it when people are quiet when I'm saying. So the Great Barrier Reef, the Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise. Now, let's talk about Surfers Paradise and all the meter maids that come around and feed the parking meters for the people that are parked in the area. They have dedicated ladies who will walk around in bikinis and feed the parking meters. I don't know what they still do, but I remember hearing the stories. They go around and just monitor the meters. If the meter started to get towards expiry, they'd put a bit of money in to just get them to top them up for the people to not worry about it. Some of the big theme parks in Australia are also on the Gold Coast. SeaWorld, Movie World, Wet and Wild. We also have what's known as Australian Outback Spectacular. That's also there, and Paradise Country under those theme parks. Then you've got Brisbane itself, which is quite a nice place. I will say that, having been there. So you've got all the Brisbane and outlying suburbs. My favourite place in Brisbane is always South Bank. You walk along the Brisbane River, and you can go shopping, go into many different cafes. There's even a Max Brenner chocolatier, Max Brenner shop there, lolly shops, pubs, all that. And they even have, and I'm going to just put this out there, a brew house. We have a brewery here called James Squire, and they have individual brew houses depending on where they are. The Charming Squire, which is the one in Brisbane, and that is an unreal place especially when they have major events, Brisbane Truck Show, and like the State of Origin, which is a rugby match between Queensland and New South Wales. Every man and his dog fighting it. Where's that? Sorry, guys, that's just popped out, and I'm just going to have to retrieve it. There it is. Yeah, so we got a footy game every year. It's a 3-game series called State of Origin. It's man against man, state versus state. We actually have the final game coming up in about a week. So it's currently locked at one game all. Whoever wins this one will take the series. New South Wales, well, that's where I am. New South Wales is one of the biggest states by population. The other one is Western Australia. That's by population, which I'll mention when I talk about that. We have agriculture, wines. So around my area, there's a lot of cold climate wine, such as, so the big players are Robert Oatley, and I don't know whether you get it, is Printhie. So just in my area. We also have a lot of agriculture, like dairies, sheep and cattle. And our big agricultural thing is grains and pulses. So Victoria, enough said. Sean and Alana, home to Sean and Alana. That's where Melbourne is one of the hip capital of Australia, as I call it, where they pump beer into the pubs from a tanker. We were talking beer. They pump beer from a tanker into the pub. And it's like, I've never, ever seen that done. And it's only in Melbourne that they do it. There's only one pub in Melbourne that does it. It's a pub right next to the main railway station, Flinders Street Station. And I'm like, I was walking around just admiring the heritage, and that it is, Liz, when you think about it, it's like, how the hell do they get it from the brewer into the tanker into the pub? And it's all in the truck. The pump, the tank, the hoses, everything goes into the underground tank in the pub. And it's a very historic pub. Just have a drink here. That's better. So yeah. Then you've got the regional areas. One of my favourite regional areas is the Goulburn Valley. I'll just I'm going to. I can't, as I said, I can't share with the phone. I can't share with my phone. I have, as I say, I have to be on my computer to share stuff. I'm going to show some photos from one of the big attractions in that area. So Shepparton is the major town around that area. It's the big capital. There's canneries, fruit and veggie growers in that area. And one of my favourite things, I went when I was down in Melbourne Victoria to meet up with Sean, Alana and Nick. I actually have a friend who lives in a nearby area, and I was fortunate enough to stay with them, or friends actually, a husband and wife that live in Mooroopna, which is nearby. I was fortunate enough to be able to get the train from Melbourne. We'll talk about that in a moment, how good Victoria is compared to New South Wales in public transport. I'll just pop that up. Come on, don't play up on me. Yeah, I'll also send some of these photos. There we go. Melbourne to Sydney trip. No, Mooroopna and Alexandra. That's what I want. There's a museum there there's a vehicle museum called the Museum of Vehicle Evolution. Oh, don't want general. Wrong button. Camera. Next one down. They have, and I'm not kidding. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the sunlight. It was just too shiny. A DeLorean that showed off Back to the Future vibes. And I'm not kidding you. That is in there.
Wow.
That's at the Museum of Vehicle Evolution. Where's the other one? Where's the other car? I'll find it in a minute. I've just got to I've got to find it. Is it in this set? There it is. I don't know whether you have seen a movie called Charlie and Boots. Yeah. This is actually the car that was featured in that movie.
What's the movie called?
It's called Charlie and Boots. It's got Paul Hogan in it. If you remember Crocodile Dundee, the same actor that was in there. This is actually, so this is the other actor, Shane Jacobson. This was the car featured, and it actually belongs to him. Nearly fell over when I saw that. Yes. And there was another movie that featured Michael Caton called Last Cab to Darwin, which was it was a really sad movie. The taxi driver was not well, and he took his last passenger to Darwin from, I believe, Alice Springs. His last paying passenger. Now this is actually a weird car. This is actually legitimately registered. This is a HSV coupe made out of a HSV Maloo ute. Nearly fell over when I saw it. You think it's actually a legitimate coupe, but it's a ute from about here back. But whoever built this did a bloody good job of it, and you wouldn't even know it's where's the other one? No, that's not one. These Falcons, they were actually a unique build. These TEs and TFs and TEs, standard 5-litre Windsor V8, stroked out to 5.6 litres. So a lot of money involved in that. That's and I'll show you the other side. Where is it? This is no wonder Melbourne's called the food capital of Australia, and you can get Philly cheesesteaks like that. Ooh. So that's Melbourne in a nutshell. I'll scan back around and settings, camera, front cam. We'll go to Tasmania, the Apple Isle, where I don't know whether you guys know Radio Jonesy. That's where he lives. And he does a lot of stuff with Tasmania. And I was just looking at a Rude Places road trip in Tasmania. 10 hours. Oh, I shouldn't have brought that up. Anyway, so Tasmania, it's the Apple Isle. It's the only state that's not linked to the mainland. You've got to catch either a plane or a boat if you're taking your car. Wineries, distilleries, beautiful markets in Hobart. Jonesy will vouch for that one, but he's not here. I think he's still in bed. Then we move on to South Australia, Kangaroo Island. One of the island off the coast of South Australia where you can actually see so many amazing animals. We'll go back to Victoria for a sec. I missed something with Victoria. We have Phillip Island. If you've heard of the movie Oddball, which is a true story about the livestock guardian dogs protecting the little blue penguins on Phillip Island, well, they were legit. It was a legit story. There was a guy who trained Marima sheepdogs to guard the penguins to protect them from predators. Very well and very well trained dogs too. So back to South Australia, wineries, historic towns like, I'll use this one, Harndorf in the Adelaide Hills, Germany in Australia. It was a German settlement. Plenty of wineries, and I mean South Australia. If you think New South Wales is big for wineries, South Australia is actually the biggest wine area in Australia by size, the Barossa Valley. Western Australia, mining is a big thing in Western Australia. So all your iron ore, most of your iron ore that is produced in Australia comes from Western Australia. So in the Pilbara, they have the big iron ore trains. They're 7 kilometres long. They need 9 locomotives to haul it in groups of 3.
Mm.
So you've got 3 at the head end, 3 at the tail end, and 3 in the middle. And I know someone, one of my Facebook friends who flies helicopters as a part-time job. He's actually a FIFO driver, drives those for a living. And I'm just in awe, pardon the pun, awe as in AWE of what he does. And then the 2 territories, Northern Territory and the Australian Capital Territory. I won't say much about the Northern Territory because I don't know very much. All I know is Alice Springs and Darwin, the 2 key places. And the Australian Capital Territory is our governmental territory. It's a landlocked territory. So they decided when they've given them a bit of the coastline, they've actually given them the Jervis Bay what they call the Jervis Bay Territory for the coastal strip for anyone from the Australian Capital Territory. So that's Australia.
Right. Hey, listen. Hey, I've got some guests that's going to be here in probably about 10 minutes, so I might have to cut.
All right, mate. You stay safe, and we'll
have fun.
We'll catch up with you, mate.
See you on the next one.
I'll talk to you in a little bit, okay?
Yeah,
thanks, mate. We'll get ready for your live very soon, Roxy. Well, where am I getting? I'm thinking of my dog at the moment. I'm having one of those moments. So that's Australia in a nutshell. Basically, what I know, what I can remember. Is Liz still here? She's. Hang on. I'm just gonna pop some comments. Is Scott from Controversial Cruising still here? I think he's having too much fun at the moment. So that's Australia in a nutshell. What I know from what I've remembered. I had to write this list of topics up, so I had them here so I could just remember what I wanted to talk about. So basically everything and other things. Scotty had to go because he had visitors. He's got guests coming, so he's left us. So basically, with Qantas is actually back to what I was saying about Qantas. Every major capital city on the east coast of Australia or major capital city in Australia is linked to the world, either via Qantas or an affiliated airline. Like if you were to fly, say, to Dallas, Fort Worth, you can go direct with Qantas, or you can go to San Francisco and link with American Airlines, which I saw on just getting quotes from Qantas yesterday to come over. It was like $2,800 just one way. Just one way when you think about it.
That's a lot of money.
But it's a direct flight. That was direct to Dallas Fort Worth. But there was also linking flights from Sydney to San Francisco with Qantas, and then you got from Qantas to American to go to Dallas Fort Worth. Qantas, one of the biggest flights, one of the most recent flights to London Heathrow departing from Perth, actually got turned around virtually 2 hours from arriving at London Heathrow. Qantas 33 got turned around and sent back to Perth. 15 hours they'd been in the air for because of closed airspace over the Middle East during the Israel-Iran conflict. So they closed the airspace, left them no option but to turn around and come back to Perth.
I would be very not happy.
That's a 30-hour trip that they've had. That's 30 hours they would have spent on that plane. They were 2 hours from landing in London. I would have been absolutely fuming about it too. But the only thing is I've ever only had delays, ground delays, not so much being turned around to come back to the originating airport. One of them, I have the funniest story. It was 2014. I was coming back from Sydney. I'd been in Sydney for a weekend. We got delayed. They decided to delay the flight due to bad weather en route, which I totally understand. So they delayed the flight 90 minutes. We got looked after so they called us up, let us know we could go and get something to eat. They were going to cover it. The airport was covering it. Qantas Link was covering it. All we had to do was present our boarding passes. They'd take the tail end of the boarding pass off, keep it, and be reimbursed. So it could be reimbursed. Still got our happy hour in Australia with Qantas. They have what's known as happy hour. If your flight originates from an airport between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, you get free adult beverages for the duration of the flight, whether it be beer or wine. You had your choice, and that was. And here's even funnier story. I was coming home from a holiday in 2012. My boss I don't know what he was doing. I think he was in Sydney for a conference with people who buy our products. Anyway, we're getting on the bus. This was back when Qantas Sydney Airport was different back then. So you had Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 1 International, Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 domestic. Terminal 3 was the larger Qantas aircraft. Terminal 2 was all the turboprops. They ran the turboprops out of the little, what they call turboprops out of Terminal 2. But now everything's for Qantas and Jetstar are run out of Terminal 3 together. So that leaves Regional Express and all the smaller airlines trying to figure out dinner. I'm trying to figure out breakfast. I'll wind up in about 7 minutes, guys. So that'll be me done in 7 minutes. Yeah, so they used to have to put us all on buses to go from Terminal 2 way out in the middle of the never on the airport to get on the plane to come home. Well, it's not fun, but it was what it was. Now they've got the air bridge. Now they've got the turboprops and all the Qantas aircraft together in the one area. We even get the air bridge into the little turboprops now most of the time, unless they're it's quite funny. Some of them they put the air bridge on. Others they don't. So you've got to walk out of the air, down through the air bridge, down onto the ramp, and get on the plane that way. And that's a bit. And then they've got still push these little turboprops off the stand, like they do with the bigger jets, and it's fun to watch them push the little like the little Dash 8s out of the ramp, and I'm like, why don't you get 20 strong men to just push it? It's been done before with the 747 over in South Africa. I follow a gentleman on here and on YouTube and all socials, Pete the Irish pilot. He's quite a if you want to learn all the different things about flying, landing, how to do a butter landing, just watch Pete. He'll tell it how it is. I'll just pop that comment up for a sec. Yeah, figure out dinner. I'm trying to figure out breakfast. 7:55 a.m. here. So yeah. Anyway, I'll start winding it up. So that was Australia in a nutshell, guys. I will do another live probably this time next week as well. We're just going to do a couple of lives just to have a chat. I will keep everyone in the loop with the chat through the. Thanks, Liz. I'll try and keep everyone in the loop with the lives through the usual suspects chat. Or I will post them for those of you who've got me on Facebook: Roxy, Liz, Scott, Scotty J, etc. I'll post on Facebook as well, on my Facebook as well. So, bloody, that starburst's back, and I don't even have the light on. So that little starburst there, this little thing right here, that annoys me. It's just the sunlight beating in out of the window beside me. The sun's finally starting to come up. Usually comes up around this time every day. So that was it's not the lens. My lens is clean. I'll just double check that. I'm pretty sure my lens is clean.
It's the sun, because when you put your arm a certain way, it goes away. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. It's helped it a little bit, Liz, but not entirely. Still got this little haze on the corner. Still got the haze, but that's better than nothing. Yeah, I've got an orb but the weirdest part is I'm on the western side of the house. There's solid walls to my right. Sun doesn't come through them. Yeah, so yeah, as you can tell, I'm less caveman, more. Oh, thanks, Liz. Yeah, no, I'm less caveman, more human. As I said yesterday in the chat, they wanted to trim me beard. I said no. Dad was against it. I'm totally against it. Nobody touches the manscaping department. Nobody touches my beard. Nobody's the manscaping department but me. Yeah, no, the mum didn't want me. Mum told me you're not coming home without it done. So no, she's the culprit there. Geez, I could hanker for a Philly cheesesteak right now. I'm looking at the one I had in Melbourne, and funnily enough, I found the restaurant on Facebook before I went down, and I'm hankering for one right now. And there's a place just out the other side of Orange, it's a little village. I wouldn't call Kidala a town. It's a little village, but the owner of the business is currently away on holidays. I'm trying to make myself hungry too. So what did you end up getting, Liz? So yeah, no, so no, it was all in all last year when I went down to Victoria with Sean and caught up with Sean, and pizza. Oof, I'm hankering for a good homemade pizza.
That's what I'm making, a white pizza.
Yeah, so what we do, we buy the bases already prepared. Mum will put the pizza sauce, cheese. If we have them, the little baby Roma tomatoes, we Mum uses Roma tomatoes. Or, Liz, you don't make friends with salad, you know. Yeah, so cheese, baby Roma tomatoes, red onion, mushrooms, what else? Ham, pepperoni, cabanossi, what we call cabanossi. It's like cabana. See, Liz, I did mention sausage. A sausage.
Oh,
just so Liz didn't feel left out. Parmesan cheese into the oven, about 15, 20 minutes, just to let it all meld together. And come out. We've got a little pizza cutter. Yep, the hashtag sausage. I knew the minute I mentioned sausage, that hashtag was coming out. Yes, so slice it up. I put a little drizzle of tomato sauce on it, or ketchup, what you guys call ketchup, just to break it up a little bit. It just depends on whether or not I'm in a rush to get it in. But I was mentioning the last night in Eddie's morning quickie. I'm going to do a corned beef. So bay leaves, or a couple of bay leaves, some whole peppercorns. What was it? A carrot and an onion in water, nothing else but water, in the slow cooker. And then it'll be done for 4 to 6 hours. And then I'm going to make up a cheesy white sauce. I'm going to go all out. Cheesy white sauce with the butter and the flour to make a roux. And then that's typical, Scott. Our Asian with persuasion.
We don't have Chinese.
No, we actually do, speaking of Chinese. So we've got quite a few. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we got 6 in total. But we're mentioning that. Oh God. No, we've got Roxy first. I'm going Don't
to
forget that.
6:30.
Yep, so that's
morning.
That's 8:30 my time. So in about 5, maybe 6 minutes, I'll wind up. Yeah, no. So we've got 6 Chinese places. We've got about a dozen pubs where you can get good food. Then we've got all the different. So we've got burgers. Pizzas. What else have we got? We've got the general quick, like McDonald's. We don't have Burger King. We did originally have Burger King. They were going to expand into Australia, but something went sour and they ended up changing the name to Hungry Jack's, which I think is a lot better for Australia. The old, what I call the old dirty bird, KFC. No, I rephrased that. 7 Chinese restaurants. I forgot there was one in a side street. We have a chain called Porto. They do Portuguese style chicken, which is quite nice when you get it right. What else? A few other things. Like the pubs do a good feed. All the pubs and the clubs do a good feed. You've got to find the right place. So we've got a couple of bowling clubs. We've got 2 bowling clubs. No, 3. Yeah, 3 bowling clubs. I just forgot about that. Yeah, 3 bowling clubs. Our RSL club, our Return Services League's club. So that was formed by return servicemen from both World Wars and any conflicts. I'm actually a member of our RSL club. Have been for the last 6. I've got my current membership running now till 27. So that'll be, when did I join first? I'm just trying to think back. I think 10 years. About 10 years now I've been with them. So when you sign up with them, you can't pay for your 3 years. You've got to get a year first, then you can start paying 3 yearly. So it still works out to be the same price yearly, because it's $16.50 for 3 years or $5.50 a year. I can't justify doing it every year. So you pay your 3 years and it runs through each year. And I was lucky enough when I renewed my membership this time around, I was quick enough to get my card. But when I did my 22, 23, 24 membership, I renewed my membership in 2021. I couldn't get the card. I didn't get the card until it was pretty late in my membership. Was probably, I believe, mid 2023 I got it, or some point in 2024 I got it. I was very close to having to renew it anyway. So I was lucky enough to get the card straight away. Scott, you do have a choice. Go and enjoy your holiday, mate. By the way. Yeah, so the membership there gives me discounts on food, beverages, and other stuff that's not related to gambling. Tickets into concerts that are held there, which reminds me, I've just got to write that down. I've got to pay for a coach trip next week, and that's got to be done. Urgent. So basically, anything that's not gambling related, I get discounted rates. Food, I actually had a lobster mornay there late last year, which would have cost me $40. I got it for $30. I had a half one, so it was $30 discounted rate. And everyone that I remember, there was 1 year, I believe, just trying to think back when it was. We did a get together. There was myself and a few people from out of state. We were doing a truck show. Hey, Fluff. I'm just about to wind up. So it all accounts, and everyone's able to use. I share my card with people. You're not meant to, but what do they know? It's more points to me. It's more points to me because I get points on that card. I can redeem things for it at the club. Anyway, I'm going to wind up in about 2.5 minutes, and get ready for your live. So basically that card gives me access, and it also gives me access to discounted holidays at a certain select list of holiday parks in New South Wales. So I've actually used my membership at one of the parks, one called the Seaside Holiday Resort at Fingal Bay, which is near Port Stephens. Anyway, so they've got the members and non-members rate. The members rate is always going to be the cheaper rate for us, for me especially. I think I paid I'm just trying to think back what I paid for that stay. I think it was something like $700 for the week. I was there for a week. That was 2019. It was 2019. I took advantage of that. I just remembered. So it was about $700 for the week. No, $400. I didn't stay there for the week. I had to come back because I was just starting to return to study. So yeah, $400 for the 4 days I was there. Complete 2-bedroom apartment, fully self-contained apartment. Bus stop 50 meters from my door. About 70 meters from my door. Public transport every 20 minutes, half hour, right down to Newcastle. Sorry about that. So public transport, Route 130 bus from Fingal Bay to Newcastle, about an hour and a bit over an hour from where I got picked up from to Newcastle. I could catch the bus to Nelson Bay to do shopping. I could also go there to do stuff, tourist stuff. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wind up so Roxy can get ready for her live, and we'll catch you all again soon. Stay safe, guys, and we'll talk again soon. In stream.